Welcome back to Emotional Journey. Today, in the second episode of the series Long Live Reason, we're diving into an essential topic. What are cognitive distortions and how to deal with them? These distorted thought patterns can impact our emotions and behaviors, but fear not, we've got a step-by-step guide to help you manage them effectively. Let's get started. Cognitive distortions are thought patterns that are inaccurate and negatively biased, often contributing to emotional distress. They can be categorized into various divisions or types. One common classification includes 1. Catastrophizing, a cognitive distortion where individuals tend to magnify or exaggerate the importance or severity of a negative event or situation. They anticipate the worst possible outcome, often assuming that things will go terribly wrong. Here are some examples of catastrophizing. Health anxiety. Someone might experience a minor physical symptom like a headache and immediately jump to the conclusion that they have a severe illness like a brain tumor, despite more likely explanations like stress or fatigue. Financial concerns. If someone faces an unexpected expense, they may catastrophize by imagining a future where they're completely bankrupt and homeless, ignoring the potential for solutions or financial stability. 2. Black and white thinking, also known as all or nothing thinking, is a cognitive distortion characterized by viewing situations in extreme, either-or terms without recognizing middle ground or nuance. Here are some examples of black and white thinking. Perfectionism. Someone believes that if they can't do something perfectly, they shouldn't bother doing it at all. For instance, a person might think, if I can't excel in this job 100%, I'm a complete failure. Self-evaluation. Someone might classify themselves as either a complete success or a total failure, without acknowledging their accomplishments and areas for improvement. Diet and exercise. Believing that if you can't stick to a strict diet or exercise routine all the time, there's no point in trying at all. 3. Overgeneralization is another common cognitive distortion where individuals draw broad negative conclusions about themselves, others, or the world based on limited evidence or a single negative experience. Here are some examples of overgeneralization. Job interviews. If someone doesn't perform well in a single job interview, they might generalize by saying, I'm terrible at interviews, I'll never get a job. Academic performance. A student who receives a low grade on one test might think, I'm stupid and will never succeed academically. Social situations. After an awkward social interaction or being excluded from one event, a person may generalize that nobody likes me or I'm always the outsider. 4. Mental filtering, sometimes called selective abstraction, is a cognitive distortion where individuals focus solely on the negative aspects of a situation while ignoring or discounting any positive or neutral elements. Here are some examples of mental filtering. Positive feedback. A person receives numerous compliments and positive feedback about their work, but they focus exclusively on one piece of criticism, feeling like a failure because of it. Accomplishments. Someone accomplishes several tasks successfully during the day, but they dwell on a single mistake they made, disregarding their overall achievements. Work environment. An employee might disregard the positive aspects of their job, such as a supportive team or good work-life balance, due to focusing on one challenging aspect, like a demanding boss. 5. Jumping to conclusions is a cognitive distortion where individuals make negative predictions or assumptions about a situation, often without sufficient evidence. There are two common subtypes of jumping to conclusions. 1. Mind reading. This involves assuming you know what others are thinking, even when there's no clear evidence. Examples include thinking someone dislikes you without them saying so, or assuming people are judging you negatively without any confirmation. 2. Fortune-telling. This subtype involves predicting negative outcomes for the future, again without concrete evidence. For instance, you might believe you'll fail an upcoming presentation or that a party will be a disaster before it even happens. Here are a few more examples to illustrate this cognitive distortion. Job interview. Before an interview, you might assume the interviewer already dislikes you and won't hire you, leading to anxiety and a self-fulfilling prophecy. Social event. If you're invited to a gathering and immediately assume it will be boring or that you won't fit in, you might decline the invitation, missing out on potential enjoyment. Friendships. Assuming a friend is mad at you without any communication about it can lead to unnecessary conflict or distance in the relationship. 6. Personalization is a cognitive distortion where individuals tend to take excessive responsibility for external events, especially negative ones, as if they were the primary cause. They often blame themselves for things beyond their control. Here are some examples of personalization. Friendship issues. If a friend cancels plans, a person might immediately think, they canceled because they don't like me, without considering that their friend could have legitimate reasons for the cancellation. Family problems. A child might blame themselves for their parents' divorce, believing that their behavior caused the marital issues. Natural disasters. In extreme cases, individuals may even believe they caused natural disasters or global events through their actions or thoughts. 7. Emotional reasoning is a cognitive distortion where individuals believe that their emotions reflect objective reality or facts, even when there is no solid evidence to support their feelings. In other words, they think that because they feel a certain way, it must be true. Here are some examples of emotional reasoning. Anxiety. Feeling extremely anxious about flying on an airplane and concluding that it must be dangerous, despite statistical evidence showing air travel is safe. Insecurity. Believing you're unattractive because you feel unattractive, even if others find you attractive or you objectively meet conventional beauty standards. Anger. Believing someone must have intentionally offended you because you feel angry without considering alternative explanations for their behavior. 8. Should statements is a cognitive distortion where individuals impose rigid and unrealistic expectations or demands on themselves or others. These statements can lead to feelings of pressure, guilt, and frustration. Here are some examples of should statements. Self-criticism. I should always be perfect. This statement sets an impossibly high standard for oneself, leading to feelings of inadequacy when perfection is not achieved. Others' behavior. People should always be polite and considerate. Believing that everyone should conform to your standards of behavior can lead to frustration when people don't meet those expectations. Relationships. My partner should always know what I need without me saying anything. This unrealistic expectation can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts in relationships. 9. Labeling and mislabeling is a cognitive distortion where individuals use excessively harsh labels or descriptions for themselves or others based on specific actions or mistakes. This distortion often involves making global judgments about a person's character or identity based on isolated incidents. Here are some examples. Self-labeling. If someone makes a mistake at work, they might label themselves as a complete failure or incompetent, disregarding their overall competence and worth. Relationships. After a disagreement with a friend, labeling them as a terrible friend rather than recognizing that friends can have disagreements. Academic performance. If a student fails one test, they might label themselves as stupid or a failure, without considering that everyone has moments of academic struggle. 10. Discounting the positive is a cognitive distortion where individuals dismiss or downplay positive experiences, qualities, or achievements in their life. They tend to focus exclusively on the negative aspects of themselves, others, or situations, while ignoring or minimizing any positive aspects. Here are some examples. Self-evaluation. Someone receives praise at work or from a friend for a job well done but brushes it off as if it doesn't matter, thinking it was just luck, or they're just being polite. Personal achievements. A person accomplishes a significant goal, but they discount it by saying, it's not a big deal, anyone could have done it, or I got lucky. Relationships. Dismissing compliments or acts of kindness from a partner or friend, thinking they don't really mean it, or they're just doing it out of obligation. Gratitude. Neglecting to appreciate positive aspects of life, such as good health, a stable job, or supportive relationships, and focusing solely on problems or challenges. These cognitive distortions can contribute to anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. Recognizing and challenging these distortions can be a helpful part of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and other therapeutic approaches. Dealing with cognitive distortions involves recognizing them when they occur and actively challenging and modifying these distorted thought patterns. Here are steps to help you address and manage cognitive distortions. 1. Awareness. The first step is to become aware of your thought patterns and recognize when cognitive distortions are at play. Pay attention to the way you think and how it affects your emotions and behaviors. 2. Identify the distortion. Once you're aware of a distorted thought, identify which specific cognitive distortion it falls under. Is it catastrophizing, black and white thinking, overgeneralization, etc.? Understanding the type of distortion can help you address it more effectively. 3. Question the thought. Challenge the validity of the distorted thought. Ask yourself questions like, is there concrete evidence to support this thought? Are there alternative explanations for the situation? How would a more objective or balanced perspective look? 4. Reality testing. Seek objective evidence to support or refute the distorted thought. Talk to trusted friends, family members, or a therapist about your thoughts and feelings to gain a more accurate perspective. 5. Use positive affirmations. Counteract negative or distorted thoughts with positive affirmations or more balanced statements. For example, if you catch yourself catastrophizing, remind yourself of past successes and your ability to handle challenges. 6. Mindfulness. Practice mindfulness techniques to stay in the present moment and observe your thoughts without judgment. This can help you detach from cognitive distortions and approach situations more objectively. 7. Journaling. Keep a thought journal to record your distorted thoughts as they arise. Write down the situation, the distorted thought, and a more balanced and realistic alternative thought. 8. Challenge core beliefs. Consider whether deep-seated beliefs about yourself, others, or the world are contributing to these distortions. Working with a therapist can be particularly helpful in addressing and modifying core beliefs. 9. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. Consider seeking the assistance of a mental health professional trained in CBT. CBT is specifically designed to address cognitive distortions and teach strategies to change them. 10. Practice patience. Changing thought patterns takes time and effort. Be patient with yourself and recognize that progress may be gradual. Remember that dealing with cognitive distortions is an ongoing process, and it's normal to have occasional distorted thoughts. The goal is to develop a more balanced and realistic perspective over time, which can lead to improved emotional well-being and healthier behaviors. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit. Thanks for joining us today. And remember, with practice, you can master the art of balanced thinking. See you.